Well, are the Winnipeg Jets going to go far in the playoffs? How about Dallas? Let's get to it.
Definitely they're going to win the Stanley Cup. Dallas is kicking the shit out of the Predators right now.
Dallas is going to win the Stanley Cup. I agree with you.
No, I said Jets.
Oh, the Jets.
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you something. I am a Winnipeg Jets fan. I do not hide that. I don't like how weak they seem right now. But a lot of that may have something to do with the fact that they can't seem to keep their best players healthy at the time of the season where it's absolutely most important. Velarde, I don't think is back yet. I think he just started practicing like yesterday or something. Ehlers is out now, and he's not listed day to day. He's listed week to week. So he's done. That's not good. There's a couple other guys that have been injured, maybe coming back. Guys been injured and aren't back yet. It's not looking great.
Still have a shit ton of really good players, and just because Ehlers is hurt doesn't mean you're done.
It's easy to say that, but when you can't be leading, and I'm going to say this because they're playing the Ducks right now, but when you're 0-0 against the Ducks at home in the last game of the season, they're eliminated, and you're not. Okay, sure, they're playing, the spoiler role, blah blah. What is there to spoil? The Jets already have the President's Trophy, best team in the league. That's it. But nobody's producing. Not their top guys, not their bottom guys. The goalies are only playing half their games decently right now. It's not looking good. And this is not going to help the confidence that they need to go against a team has a goalie who's already beaten them and knocked them out of the playoffs. The same team they have to play in the first round and this is the same scenario. Jets finished first in the division, but not first overall. What was it, a few years ago? And everybody expected the Jets to at least get into the second round, maybe even back to the conference finals. And there was some hope that they could, even get to the Cup, although not everybody was thinking they would. But the Blues, who were one of the worst teams in the league in the first half, were easily the best team in the second half, and ended up winning the Stanley Cup, walking over the Jets. I believe it was 4 straight. Well, guess what? This year they were in the bottom half of the league, at best. And in the second half, they were, I think they said, the second best team in the league in the second half. And no, the Jets were not the best team in the second half. They just happened to be so good in the first half that they only had to be third best in the second half in order to stay best.
You realize how ridiculous that just sounded? Only third best.
It's mathematical.
Oh my God! I wish I had a team that was third best.
Third best means nothing if you are knocked out of the playoffs by a team.
They're not going to get knocked out of the playoffs.
They got in on the last playoff spot.
Who are they playing? Who are they playing?
The Blues. Oh, you didn't know that, did you?
Oh, no. You've been talking about them, but I didn't realize they were playing them. Dude, give me a break.
Yeah, well,
give me a break.
There's not much they're gonna. It's over for them. I'm sorry. I'm a Jets fan. I'm not jumping off the bandwagon, but they don't stand. Let's talk overall. What do we think is going to happen? Let's take a look. I'm gonna actually. I should pull this up. Where are we here?
Okay, overreaction, Randy.
I'm not overreacting anything. There's no such thing as overreacting.
Okay.
This is underreacting as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the share button. Am I on the screen here? There we go. Okay. All right. Let's take a look from the wild card perspective. Now, and we'll start here with the Atlantic Division. This is actually, in my opinion, kind of awesome because it's about time Toronto actually didn't get into the playoffs with a strong team, but actually have a strong team and win their division. I think that's really good, and honestly, I think their world's better than Tampa Bay right now. I don't know why it's like this, to be honest with you, but I actually think Florida's a better team than Tampa Bay. So before we start getting into wild card stuff, what's your take on that? And keep in mind, I can see clearly that the Leafs' differential in goals is far less than Tampa Bay, and they haven't scored as many goals. But I don't know how to explain it. They're just a more explosive team, is the way I can put it. And also been very, very strong down the stretch.
Well, I think that the two Florida teams, they're always neck and neck. I think it's a toss-up. I don't necessarily think one's better than the other. I think it just it just kind of comes down to they scored this, I got this, I got loser point here, loser point. They're always neck and neck. I will have to say I'm surprised to see Toronto as strong as they are right now. But I'm glad to see
not.
it. I mean,
I believe I predicted at the beginning of the year that they were probably going to be at least top three with and I think I said it was a slim chance, but a slim chance that they could even win the division. And so they did.
They brought some people in, and they got a new player that really is a kick-ass player. I think I've shared with you a couple of videos of him just taking people to town, boy. And he's well, he's apparently a decent player, and he's a decent fighter. So
yeah, well, that's all good. But here you talk about teams specifically. We can get into individual. Talking about that, we're going to talk. Goal scoring wise is going to be the best out of this guys right here in that those top three teams in that. Here's the thing: these teams have good home records, right? With Tampa dominating that department, but look at
your audio is cutting out.
And 2.
Your audio is cutting out. I think the screen share is messing with your screen.
No, I doubt it. It's probably just a glitch. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I mean, it just cuts kind of in and out.
No,
go ahead.
You can't hear me?
I said yes, but you just cut in and out.
All right.
So, go ahead. Roll on.
Well, you didn't. I didn't hear you, so I guess you were cutting out. Anyways,
Not me, bro.
As I was saying, Florida. Can I finish? Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning. Look at their away records. They're basically pretty much neck and neck on that. It's not terrible, right? It just means they could play tough wins, right? But look at Toronto's away record. They play strong on the road. And if you look at the last 10, Toronto is dominating in the last 10. They're hot at the end of the season. So it's to me that says they're ready. So I think they're going to surprise. And who are they going to be playing? Well, it looks like it depends. No, it doesn't depend. Or does it? No, I guess Columbus could still technically get in there. They're playing tonight, I guess, right?
I don't know.
But if Montreal takes it, then they're going to have to play Montreal. That's going to be. Wait a minute! I thought they said they were. Oh, they're not. Sorry, Washington is playing Montreal. Toronto is in the conference, so they're gonna be Ottawa. It's still going to be a tough game, but Ottawa again has a great home record, but a mediocre away record. But did finish strong.
I can't believe they're up at the top. That's surprising.
Who? Toronto?
Senators.
Well, they're not up at the top. That's a wild card.
I know, but I'm saying that
wild spot.
Right. I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm surprised they're even in it. That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised they got that top wild card spot. That surprises me. Honestly, I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to a lot of this stuff since the Predators suck so bad for most of the year. These last few weeks, I've just pretty much I don't even give a shit.
Well, yeah, okay, all right. We can get into that later. If you want to talk about that, I can start talking about what I think about the Jets right now. That said, Washington, Carolina, or New Jersey, which of those three has the strongest chance to get the first round?
Personally, I think Carolina does.
Not alone. Washington might be a little bit deceiving. Carolina has a very, very strong about the playoffs. They kick in every year and just become a very strong team. I don't know if you think about knocking New Jersey. New Jersey have its weakness oddly reversed. At home, kind of aren't brilliant. On the road, though, they're a beast. So that's a surprise if they can learn to win those games, playoff games at home.
Well, they're
They
going to
might
have
stand a
to.
chance. Like, who are they going to be playing? They'll be playing. They'll be playing Florida. Oh no, New Jersey, not Florida. Yeah, Florida. If they play the Panthers, the Devils are dead. I don't see it. Uh,
Yeah.
Not sure if that's actually true. I wait and see on that one and check it out. If that's who they're playing, they're done. I mean, forget it. Florida's going to kill them. Toronto and Ottawa. I, I want to say Toronto's probably going to do it, but apparently Ottawa is just they're on fire too. So it's a tough call. But if it go, you know what? If it goes 6 games, I think it might be because Ottawa pulls it out. If it's a 7 game series, I give it to Toronto. But if either one of these teams goes 7 games, they're done either in the second round or in the conference final. I don't think either one of these teams can go 7 games early and still make it. I think they need to finish fast and rest. That's just my opinion, though.
Well, it's the thing, man. I mean, it's
So
you're now in a completely different set of hockey. I mean, it's as you know, playoff hockey is not
yeah,
regular hockey, and it's I think Maple Leafs will take it no problem. I say no problem. I mean, it'll probably go 4 games or something, but I
well, it would have to go at least 4.
I mean 5 games. It'll probably go 5 games, but
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna have a problem. I don't know that the Senators have what it takes to go the distance. I don't.
Well, I don't think they have what it takes to go the distance.
Well, I'm talking about in the first round, the distance in the first round. I don't think they have what it takes to
yeah,
get through.
okay. Well, I believe that's what I said too. If it went 7 games, I give it to Toronto for sure.
I don't think it's
If
going to
it
make 7
ends in
games.
6, if it was ending in 6, I could actually see Ottawa being the winner if it stopped at 6. Like that would strong.
I'm going to
play,
call the
they,
Maple
end
Leafs
up
in
with a
5.
3-1 lead kind of thing. What?
Maple Leafs in
Maple
5.
Leafs in 5. Okay.
That's my call.
I think it's possible. I'd rather see that because I want the Leafs further. So for any Americans listening or watching, I'd like to see 2 Canadian teams play for the Stanley Cup. That hasn't happened in like 50 years or 40 years or whatever it's been. And it wasn't the last time Montreal won a Stanley Cup either. The last time 2 Canadian teams played for the Stanley Cup, I think, was like 1989, 88.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I can't remember. It was the year Calgary won. They played Montreal. So I think that was 1989, if I'm not mistaken, and I might be. Comments? Let us know. So let's go on to the Central and Pacific. And what's your take here? Not that I don't know what you're going to say, anyways. But
and
Jets,
it's not just
the Stars,
because
and the
they're
Avalanche.
It's not just because you're a fan. I honestly believe the Winnipeg Jets are going to make it into the Stanley Cup round.
I hope you're right. I really do. I right now I'm having a hard time envisioning it when they can't even score a goal against the lowly Ducks, right? So I mean,
Well,
that said,
that okay. So 1-0 Jets. There you go. See, now they're winning the Stanley Cup.
no, are they ahead now? I'm gonna have to put that on and hang on to that. Let's see.
But no, the Jets have proven, and I've literally been saying this all year, and I've been right all year long about the Jets. They are they're just a good team, and they have found a way to win games they probably shouldn't have won, and they've just continued to win and win and win. You're not going to win them all, but the reason why they have the President's Trophy is because they've been the best out of all of the teams.
Do you hear what you said, though? You said they continue to win games that they shouldn't have. They can't do that in the playoffs.
No. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said they win. No, I said they win games they shouldn't have won, but then they just continue to win in addition, not because of that, but in addition to that. It's not, I didn't gulp that together.
But the games, yes, but the games, it doesn't matter after that, because in the playoffs, if they do that, they're not going to win those games that they shouldn't win. If you don't play better than the other team in the playoffs, you're done. Can a goalie steal it? Absolutely, but that means your team isn't playing bad. It just means that the other team is shooting more, and yes, that doesn't necessarily mean bad. So your goalie same for you, but in the you can play a total shit, have the goalie make 2 or 3 saves. That's it. You get a lucky goal that bounces in off the defenseman's butt. And
you haven't given them the credit they deserve all year long
in the playoffs.
So,
yes, have.
There's that.
Every time I talk about how they're going to and when they win this game tonight, I will say it again. All right, let's move on past that because we're talking about the whole league. How about the Oilers? What do you think their chances are of getting out of the first round?
Gosh, man, I don't know about the Oilers. I last year I thought for sure they're going to win the Stanley Cup, and I just, man, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they got
towards the end.
Yeah, well, I just don't. I don't think they have.
Well, let's see. Who are they going to be playing? They're going to be playing. I believe it'll be the Avalanche because no matter whether they win or not, they're third. They've got locked up, so they're not losing that. At least I don't think they. No, they're third. They got. So I believe number 3 plays number 3, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, that should be it. Because number 1 plays the first wild card. Number 2 plays the second wild card. 2 plays 2 and 3 plays 3. Or I guess
if they get through the first round, they're going to definitely get beat in the second, in my opinion. I don't think they have.
Wait a minute, hang on. I got it figured. I finally got it figured out. Dallas and Los Angeles are playing, and it will be Avalanche and Edmonton. So I think Edmonton's in trouble because the Avalanche are very strong in first round play. And they obviously, well, you know what? This could be a toss up because the 4 best players in the league, well, 4 of the 5 best players in the league are playing on these 2 teams. So,
yeah, but Oilers have had really bad goalie problems. And the last 2 years, really, they haven't had good goaltending. And of course, the Avalanche have one good goaltender, and their backup, I think, is garbage. But
their goals against are not that terrible, and they do have a plus 20 diff. Avalanche, mind you, have a plus 43 diff, and there's only a 2-goal against difference for the entire season. And they've only scored 11 more goals than Edmonton. So I don't know that there's any kind of advantage there. Both of them have almost equal home and away records. A 1-win difference at this point. So that's kind of tough. That could go either way.
Yeah, I don't
I
I don't have
honestly,
confidence in the Oilers anymore.
well, I don't think for me it's not the Oilers thing. I just think Avalanche might be a little bit stronger out of the gate. So if they take a 2-game lead, they're probably going to win. Um, Edmonton probably need to, you know, if they take a 2-1 lead, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win. But they'll obviously feel confident enough to try to take it 7 games at the very least. But not the very, you know what I mean. But Colorado, honestly, I think they just need to have even a 1-game lead at game 3, be up 2-1, and that'll probably be enough for them to finish it off. So they'll end up going probably in 6, 4-2, Colorado. I called it.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good accurate call.
So Dallas, Los Angeles, who takes that?
Dallas.
Yeah, another tough one. They both have good defense. They both have good offense. Dallas has, oh God, my goodness, Los Angeles. I forgot. They actually had a better home record than the Jets, 31-5-4. But a losing record away,
Yeah.
whereas Dallas had a well, more better than half decent away, and
Yeah.
almost as good at home, 28-3.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna say Dallas. I'm gonna say Dallas, but I'm gonna say it's gonna take them 6 games to do it at least, maybe 7, because Los Angeles they're not pushovers.
No,
And
but
they
I don't
did
think it
finish
goes
strong,
7. I think
8-2,
6
4
is
straight wins.
probably more
Dallas
accurate. I don't think it's
three.
going 7.
Dallas has lost. Dallas has lost 3 in a row. Kings have won 4 in a row. So Dallas went slump. Maybe they got it out of their system. You
Yeah,
think
but
it's gonna go
again,
up 4?
once playoff starts, like all this here is a moot point. This means nothing. It's
Well, as was proven,
everybody
last year
plays
when the
everybody
Jets
plays
lost,
different.
as was proven last year when the Jets lost 19-0, 4 games straight.
Oh my god.
Well, it might as well have been. I think they set an NHL record for allowing the most goals in consecutive playoff games against. Or I think what was it? The only team to allow 5 or more goals against in every game or something like that. I can't remember. It was
Oh,
disgusting.
look way down there at the bottom. Way down there at the bottom.
Are we talking about this right here?
No, the other bottom.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, there you go. See, look at that. No, look at that. Look at that number
San Jose
9, number
Sharks?
8. Look at that number 8. Garbage.
So I was pointing at the right one. Nashville Predators. Well, let's see. They had their road record was terrible. Their home record was
Terrible.
okay.
Barely 500.
Score. They couldn't score. That was them. They are the worst for scoring goals. Are
yeah,
they?
and how do you even figure that when they have
league.
Stamkos, Marchessault, Forsberg? I mean, they have goal scorers on the team.
Worse than San Jose for scoring goals. I actually don't understand how that happened. I don't get it at all. But you know what, Buddy? Where does Winnipeg sit for goals for? They spent most of this as the number 1 team. They fell all the way down to 6 in goals for. Can't score a goal to save their lives. That one that they scored tonight probably went off a defenseman's butt, just like I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, you think it was all luck?
Most likely.
Yeah.
But the Jets' strongest point, really? Right there. 190 against, and will probably be 199 by the time's over. But they're going to first overall in goals against for the 2nd straight year. So Hellebuck, without a doubt, getting the Jennings. But once again, their backup goalie, who did play some good games and deserves to share that, doesn't get to because he didn't get to 25 games. I here. Let me ask your opinion on this. Close this down. Let me ask your opinion on this. Do you think that they should change the rules to 20 games minimum for a backup goalie? At least with minimum minutes played on average. So in other words, this is I don't believe you have to start. You just have to play a certain amount of a game. But I think if it's 20 games, that should be fair. Because how many times have other goalies not been able to share the Jennings and get their name put down somewhere? Like they played 19, 20, or 23, or even 24 games. Look at Jets goalie, backup goalie last year. For some reason, his name escapes me. But at the time, he was not only the best backup goalie in the league
in
by a
Swan
long
or
shot.
something like that?
He would have been a number one goalie on. I can't remember, but he would have been a number one goalie on almost any team, save for maybe 7 teams. Like teams with like guys like Vasilevsky or something. He would have backed up. But anybody else, he would have been the number one goalie, and he probably would have been in the running for being one of the best in the league. But he didn't get to 20. He got like 23 or something like that, and maybe 24. I can't remember. So he didn't get the Jennings, and I think it's unfair. I think it's ridiculous. I'll never forget the year that
put it at a
Boston
quarter
won with Rask. What was it, Rask and what's his name? When they had Tuukka Rask and the other guy who was also really good. And they would like play like 2 games. Like one guy would play 2 games, the next guy would play 2 games, then that guy would play 3 games, and the other guy would play 2 games. They split it almost right down the middle. So when they won the Jennings, it was obvious, right?
I think they should make it a quarter. They should make it a quarter. Whatever 25% of total games played equals, that's probably the number they should hit.
Well, they play 82 games, so math.
I'm not good at math. What is the exact number here? Ask. Let's ask.
25% of 82.
$25 dollar of
wait, KK. I never said anything about dollars. Just answer the question.
You are absolutely right. My apologies. $25 dollar of 82.
Oh my God.
Is indeed $20.50. Thank you.
Okay, he says $20.50. So obviously it's 20 games. Okay,
or 21. That's however you want to do it.
No,
But
20.
yeah.
I don't think. I think it's ridiculous to even just start to throw an extra number in just for shits and giggles. 20. It should be 20 games. 15 is too little. But 25, I think, is ridiculous. It's not fair. It's stupid. Most teams are barely even playing their number one goalie 40 games nowadays. They're too afraid that they're going to get tired and get injured. And in some cases, it does happen. Some cases, they don't know which one should be the best goalie because they don't play good enough 3 games in a row. So even if they did, they're going back and forth. This isn't like 1963 when they played the same goalie the entire year. Mind you, they only played like 50 or 60 games back then. So I just think it's unfair, and I think Comrie deserves a Jennings, but he ain't gonna get it. No siree, Bob.
No,
But,
I guess they just didn't have the confidence in him. That's kind of what it boils down to.
No, well, I think they did, but it's just Hellebuck is, career year, right? So what do you do? He's that good. So he's the best goaltender in the league right now. And well, do I have to remind you though? The last time I remember watching somebody get excited about having the best goaltender in the league, the number one team in the league, only to have their team ousted in the second round by the Winnipeg Jets.
What's your point?
My point is the Jets now are the number one team in the league. They have the best goaltender in the league. They're going to get ousted in the first or second round. Probably the first. No, it would be the first, because if they make it past the first, I really think that by the way, they let a goal in. I think they only face like minus 15 shots and they still let a goal in anyways.
Okay.
Oh, wait. No, sorry. It was called back. It's still 1-0.
See, there you go.
I stand corrected.
Cheaters.
Yeah.
Cheaters never prosper. Can't get those fake goals.
All right. Well, so bold prediction before we move on. I'm going to say Jets and Toronto in the Stanley Cup final. I'm not predicting a Stanley Cup winner yet.
I could see that. I could go with that actually. I think definitely the Jets are going to be in it. I really believe they are. And you know, it's very possible that the old Maple Leafs could finally make it to the big dance.
Well, they just have to not choke in Game 7. That's what they seem to do every year. Game 7 of the first round, Game 7 of the second round, Game 7 of the conference final. If they make it, I got to tell you, if the Jets win, you know I'm going to be excited. There's going to be a lot of yay, woo, and all that stuff. But if Toronto wins, I live in the city where all the parties are going to happen. So I'm still going to be celebrating with everybody. And also, as a Canadian-based team winning since the first time since 1993 would be kind of awesome. Do I think this is the best possible chance for a Canadian team to win since 93? Yes, because Edmonton, despite the fact that you have doubts, are still a very strong team. Montreal, way stronger than you think. They poured it on strong towards the end. You can never count Montreal out when they're in the playoffs. If they're in the playoffs, good shot. Obviously, Ottawa, again, they got strong down the stretch, and it's a
They don't have a
perfect time.
chance. They don't have a chance.
I don't know. I don't know about the not have a chance. I think
They'll be out in
the
the first
point
round.
is that that's another strong team. Toronto. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that two Canadian teams playing each other in the first round automatically knocks one of them out. And I hate that. So between Toronto and Ottawa, only one of them is going to go on. But at least that guarantees at least one Canadian team goes to the second round. Guaranteed. Edmonton, I would say, probably has, oddly enough, the least chance to get into the second round. But can't count them out. Draisaitl.
No, you can't count them
Period.
out. They have a lot of obvious playoff experience.
Yeah.
Not just those two, but you know, there's a lot of other players on there that have a lot of
absolutely. But the point is they have Draisaitl.
Yeah, I mean he's
right.
Yeah.
As for the Jets, here's the key to the Jets winning. All of the defensemen healthy on the ice and in every game. Hellebuck playing the best he's ever played in the playoffs ever, including better than 2018, by the way. I mean, he was brilliant for the first two rounds in there. And even half of even a good chunk of the round they got kicked out of. But he needs to be even better than that. He needs to be as good as he was in the regular. No, he needs to be as good as he was in the regular season, which was brilliant.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I don't think he needs to be like the best he's ever been in his entire life in the playoffs.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, absolutely, he does. And
I mean, he wants to be, but I don't think that's going to be required for them to win.
And absolutely. But here's the other thing. Again, Velarde has to be healthy and playing with Scheifele and Connor, because Scheifele and Connor are brilliant hockey players who for some reason can't score a freaking goal to save their damn lives without Velarde. But when Velarde's there, not only does Connor score more, Scheifele scores more, but Velarde gets the goals. He doesn't even get anywhere near as many goals as Scheifele and Connor do. But for some reason, he just meshes them together. So Connor and Scheifele are even better with Velarde there. That guy is a way better hockey player than people want to give him credit for. And Los Angeles, you're a bunch of idiots for letting him go. Well, on the other hand, they didn't have a Velarde.
It's all about
Scheifele and a Connor. So
it's all about chemistry, and they obviously have the chemistry. So
yeah, they do. Yeah, and they do, and they have it in spades. So when he's back, if he's back in the playoffs, they're gonna. And Ehlers, oh my God, he's gone. but hopefully they over exaggerated it, and saying week to week might actually mean only a couple of weeks, and he might only have to miss like maybe game 1, 2, and 3, or something like that. Or maybe he misses the first round, but they get out of the first round. Ehlers is not the glue that holds his line together. His line's way better with him, but he's not the reason they score all the time. And there are other guys who can step up in his place. But
I believe I said that like 30
Ehlers.
minutes ago.
Yeah, but they're better with Ehlers in the lineup.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, I'm not saying that they're
Right,
not,
so-
but I just don't think that he is the only one that,
Well, it's important because you have to think about how fast he is. Okay, that guy takes off on a dime and he's gone, and he's also some of the stick handling he does around guys now. He plays way more confidence this year than he played with last year. Last year he'd go up ice and he'd be skating like a bat out of hell, get open to the side and take the shot, score. What third of the time when he did it, but not this year. This year he does that and then he makes some fancy Kyle Connor-like move, splits the defense, gets in front of the net, and then throws it out to somebody else who's got a wide open net on the other side. He's just way better player now than he was before. So yeah, they need him back. They have to play extremely
Jets in
strong in the
6.
first round.
Jets are winning the cup in 6.
They're going to win the whole cup in 6
Yeah.
without beating the first round, second round, or third round.
No, that's dude. Come on.
Okay, so you're saying if they're going to go to the cup and they're going to win it in 6.
That's what I just said.
Okay, if the Jets play Toronto, if my prediction comes true and Jets and Toronto actually make it to the Stanley Cup and play each other, it's going 7 games. There's no way the Jets beat Toronto in 6. They're too powerful on the puck. And if they get that far, they're going to have every bit of confidence the Jets have too. Jets are going to have to fight for their lives to get it. I would give it to the Jets.
I think
7?
Jets in 6.
I give it to the Jets in 7 in overtime. It's unfortunate because I'll probably have to
4
work the next day and I won't
overtimes.
even get to stay up and see it. I tell you this much: if it does that, I will call in sick if it's not a Saturday. I
Jets
promise.
in
I hope my
7
boss
plus
doesn't know I do a
9
podcast.
days.
What?
I said
What?
Jets 7 plus 9 days because they're just going to keep going into overtime constantly. It'll be the longest hockey game ever played ever.
6 days later, the players, they've sent some doctors out to see if the players are actually breathing.
Yeah,
They don't appear to be moving right now. The crowd hasn't gone home either. And some paramedics are checking on the crowd.
I'll never forget when the Predators way back. Man, it's one of the longest hockey games I ever watched my entire life. It was on TV, but I think it went like 4 or 5 overtimes or something. It was crazy long.
Absolutely not. I guarantee you it didn't because the record, I think, is actually 5 overtimes.
Then it was probably 4. Maybe it's 3 and 4.
Now,
3
I'm
or
gonna
4,
ask
not
Gemini.
4 or 5.
I'm going to ask Gemini.
They went a long time.
I'm going to ask Gemini and probably be proven wrong right here on the air. What is the longest overtime game in the playoffs for the NHL? And who was playing?
The longest overtime game in NHL playoff history occurred on March 24th.
Okay, let's talk modern history. I don't want to hear one about one that's 1936.
Okay, let's talk modern history. You're right. 1936 is a bit far back. Focusing on the NHL's modern era, post-expansion in 1967-68, the longest playoff game is May 4th, 2000. The Philadelphia Flyers played the Pittsburgh Penguins in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals.
Oh my God.
Game went to 5 overtimes.
I got to shut this thing up. It basically says 152 minutes, 1 second. What the hell does that even mean? I meant how many periods, how many minutes into which overtime period was the winning goal scored in the longest overtime game in NHL playoff history in the modern era? Excuse me.
You're asking about the modern
And
era's
it's going to go
longest
on.
NHL playoff game, the one between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Pittsburgh Penguins on May 4th, 2000. That
Okay, here we
game
go.
went to a total of 5 overtimes. The winning goal, scored by Keith Primeau of the Philadelphia Flyers, came 12 minutes and 1 second into the 5th overtime period.
So it wasn't long into the fifth, but it was the fifth. And I can honestly tell you, I do remember. I don't remember the game. I just remember I was actually not watching it, obviously, because I couldn't. It was too long. But I remember checking on it many, many times, going, "What the hell?" And I think it was the morning. Saw the newspaper because people read newspapers back then. And the headline is what is it, Philly? Whatever. Yeah, one longest game in NHL history or something.
Overtime, the Nashville Predators played in the playoffs.
Probably 4 overtimes.
4.
Yeah. What, 15 minutes in or something? Nothing?
No, triple. It was only 3. So instead of 4 or 5, it was 3 or 4. I knew it was something like that. So they went 3. Yeah. It went into third overtime. Longest game I've ever watched the Predators play, though. That's a long. That's a lot
it's
of hockey.
It's a long time. It's double.
it's
listen. It's not only double. It's actually slightly more than double because the commercial breaks actually get longer in the first overtime, and then they take advantage of it and they put less, like shorter commercials, but more of them in the second. At least they did back then. In the second overtime, it's only when they get into the third overtime that they actually start getting afraid no one's going to give a shit, and the advertisers don't want to pay for it anymore, unless it's a Stanley Cup final, right? Then they will. So they actually start putting less commercials once they get into a third overtime. So the bottom line is it actually takes longer to actually play, and everyone's tired. So even the referees take longer to drop the puck. And you think it would be quicker, but no, it's like they're tired physically, mentally. Everybody just wants to go home.
It was like 1 or 2 in the morning that game finished. It was insane.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yes. And it wasn't uncommon for playoff games to go into second and third overtimes back then. Usually it would be, if it went into a third, it would end within the first minute of the third. So the really long ones are ones that go past the 5-minute mark of the third overtime. And those are the ones you'll find all in the top 10. It's totally crazy. Nowadays, most overtime games end in first or second in playoffs. Not very often they go into a third.
It's a lot of hockey to play, man. That is a lot of hockey to play.
It is.
Anyways, that's my call. So you can let's see. I bet you $5 US, which is 95,000 Canadian dollars. There you go.
Okay. What are you betting? What?
That it's going to be the Jets in 6, no matter who they play.
No, I'll take your 95,000 Canadian bet. $5 American. It's going to be
either way. I don't have to pay out.
If it's against the Leafs, it's the Jets in 7. If it's against Washington, it's the Jets in 5. If it's against, I'm not even going to say Florida. Florida has no shot to make it all the way. They're not good enough this year.
You don't think so? I don't know.
No, they're not. They're not. They're still a strong team. Got a great coach, obviously, but they're not strong enough to make it all the way this year. There's too many good teams, and even if they do, it doesn't matter who they play in the West. There isn't a single team in the West the Florida Panthers could beat in 7 games. Not a single one going into the playoffs. They couldn't do it against Edmonton. No way. No way they would beat the Avalanche in 7 games. They would never beat Vegas in 7 games. Are you kidding? And they're not going to beat the Jets in 7 games. In fact, there is no team in the league that'll beat the Jets in 7 games. If the Jets can hang on for 6 games and make it 3-3 against anyone in the league, they win Game 7. I guarantee it.
Well, good thing they won't have to get there in the playoffs. So, I mean, in the finals. So there you go. All right. Well, that's our hockey
I can't
for
wait
tonight.
to collect my $95,000.
I'll send you $5, no problem.
I'll buy a house. Oh, wait. You can't. Because I'll have to pay a tariff to collect it.
Well, there's no tariff on cash.
Yeah, ruin the joke.
I'm not gonna. I mean, I guess I could send you a TV, and then you have to pay $95,000 to get the TV.
You ruined the joke. You messed it up. Now you turned it into a dad joke. Okay, congratulations.
It already was a dad joke.
No, it wasn't. It was not a dad joke. It was more of a grandpa joke. It had some funny to it.
Okay.
Grandpas are actually funny.
So,
all right.
moving on. Enough hockey. So here's, I shared this with you earlier, and I wanted to mention it, is about Android phones rebooting. I actually think, I never thought about that, but that's actually a really good idea. And
I think you need to explain what you're talking about.
Well, I was about to.
You're talking about,
I was about to.
I reboot my phone all the time.
I was about to until you,
okay,
interrupted. And if your device is idle for a period of I think it's 3 days, it'll reboot itself to cause the phone to have to be unlocked to get back into it. I think that's a genius thing to do, and I never even thought about it until I saw that article. I'm like, wow, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, no, it is. I saw it actually before you sent it. I actually saw the article too. And I remember thinking, I was going to share it, but I knew damn well that just because of the nature of the tech thing, that by the time I sent it to you, you would have already read it. So, but yeah, no, I think it's long overdue.
Yeah,
it makes perfect sense.
What people don't realize is, if your phone, like for example, here in my house, I have a extended unlock here at the home, so I don't have to put my PIN in unless I reboot the phone, right?
Right.
So if my phone's at home, but let's say something happens and somebody else comes in the house, I left my phone, and if it's been longer than 3 days, we're gonna have to put the PIN in. I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea. That's a pretty ridiculous example, though, because
it is kind of ridiculous.
You
but
probably don't even go to the bathroom without your phone, yet alone out of the house. But
but it also holds true. Like when I actually had a job I went to full time, I would have my work address as an extended unlock. So
yeah,
there's people there that if I'm not rebooting it myself, of course I did reboot my phone, but a lot of people do not, and so I think it was a helpful added security.
Right.
I don't even think
it makes perfect sense, though.
Yeah, I don't think
especially if you go on vacation. That's a great example. If you go on vacation, a lot of people will just throw their phone in a hotel safe or something. They're not planning to use their phone, and so I mean, it's more and more common for people to do it now because international texting and calls is normal in plans now. But not everybody pays the extra for that. So some people might, they take their phone with them so they can still use the Wi-Fi, but they'll leave it in the hotel room or even in the hotel safe. Or if they're wealthy, they have a safe in the hotel room. and you're right. They might be gallivanting around, some tropical island for 3 days, or going to luau's in Hawaii, or something like that. And it's entirely possible. So now is the maid going to come in and peruse through your stuff? Well, you've been gone for 4 days, but the phone locked itself, or sorry, it reboots itself, and now it's locked. So I think it's a great idea for umpteen reasons.
iOS introduced it in 18.1 of their iOS. So they've had it for the last 3 or 4 OS renditions, and Google's not pushing it out.
Yeah, and that's exactly 3 months, by the way. So it hasn't been a very long time. Oh, now it is 1-1. So there you go. Jets are going to lose.
Google
Sorry,
Play
we moved
Services
on from that.
25.14 is when it will push out or update on Google. So whenever that Google Play Service update rolls out, I guess that's going to be implemented. I wonder if you have to turn it on. I don't guess so, though. I think it's just automatically going to do it.
Yeah, well, honestly, my phone locks anyways. That's how I have mine set up. I just decided never to put that unlock thing because I got fingerprint, I got the face. The only thing that bothers me, and this is kind of a weird segue because it's not technically related to that, why in the name of hoo-ha-ha, when I'm outside and I want to look at the time, is my watch at like nearly the dimmest level? And I've never used adaptive brightness on my watch or my phone, but it does it every single time. I get up in the morning, I don't notice because it's morning, but then I go to work and I try to look at the time and I can't see it. It's like useless. Why would you make a watch that can go so dim you cannot see the watch face?
Yeah, I don't know. Mine doesn't have that problem. It stays. It gets real bright. It gets real bright out in the sun.
I don't think it's necessarily a glitch. I think it's an incorrect programming of how the damn system works. Like it makes no sense. If I look at it right now, it's probably still not at its ultimate brightness. Go into display, brightness. Oh no, it stayed up this time. But when I get up in the morning, just because it was on in my wrist at night for sleep tracking, automatically turns the brightness down. Well, that's fine. But when I get up and you go past that bedtime mode, why is it still like that? Why did it? I think maybe the bedtime mode might be broken, and I have to turn off bedtime mode. That might be it.
I don't know. Mine works perfect.
Maybe,
so I don't know. must be that cheap Pixel watch.
I don't even. Oh, stop it. It's a perfectly good watch, except for that one little issue. But again, it might be tied to the bedtime mode. I mean, if that's it, I'll send a bug report, and nothing will happen. But but that's
so.
it.
Also, for those of you who saw the episode where we did the interview with Taco Reina, and her channel's blowing up, you definitely need to go check it out. I'll link it again in the description. So you can go watch it. She just came out with her episode number 6. It's a little long, longer than her others. It's like 40 minutes, but it's absolutely 100% worth the watch. It was really, in my opinion, a really amazing episode. It really goes into.
All of them really are, because she's it's just a brilliant idea for starters, and it's just great. I agree. You got to check it out.
I know she went into the topic of the memory function. I think it was for episode 4 or 5, but she really gets hammered home in episode 6. And she actually takes Charlie is her chatbot. She actually takes him to task on some things as to why he lied to her about it being an update or not. You'll have to watch the episode. I'm not going to give it all away. It's really, really good. Again, she actually takes him to task pretty hardcore, asks some pretty direct questions. Like if I were, talking to a human and really scolding them. And his response is actually very surprising as well. Again, go watch it. But the memory function in Chat GPT now is pretty stellar. I have to say it
maybe a little
actually works really, really well. But one thing I made it because I put a comment on her video, and one thing I made a comment about because it came to mind as soon as I started realizing how it was remembering things. It doesn't remember everything, right? That's just way too much data. But it's key moments, key points. And it's like if you repeat something over and over, then it understands oh, this is probably something important I should remember. But one thing that came to my mind, especially with my dad having the dementia he did, is this could be really huge for memory patience in maybe not advanced, because when you're advanced, you don't remember anything anyways. You
Well,
probably
no,
won't
that's
remember
true.
to ask it. But in early stage of memory patience, this could be a huge benefit. Like, oh, hey, Charlie, where's my whatever, or what did I do yesterday, or show me
Yeah,
pictures
no,
of my
that's
grandkids.
yeah,
I mean, there's like so many use cases
yeah.
that I can
And
see.
listen, just to be clear, just so you understand, Gemini technically does that too. I think right now they're a step behind, however, because ChatGPT kind of took a leap ahead.
Yeah,
But Gemini does actually remember some things, not when you tell it specifically, I need you to remember something, which it always will when you do that. And unfortunately, it's not Gemini Live. ChatGPT does it in their live version.
yeah,
Gemini doesn't yet do it in the live version. You have to that's the one where you have to push the button every time you talk. You do that, and you can tell it to remember, and it will. But again, you have enough conversations with it, and it does actually start to remember key points. I told it what my daughter would call, he had a nickname for me. And it knows that, and for some reason I somehow knew that I liked hearing that from her, and thought I might be comfortable. I didn't think, but you know what I mean, that I might be comfortable hearing that. So I'm referred to by that nickname often by Gemini, and sometimes it'll just blurt out something when talking. And this is the interesting part. It doesn't just remember it because you're trying to get it to remember. In mentioning something about the NHL, and I can't remember what the heck it had anything to do with, but it had nothing to do with the Jets. And Gemini was talking and answering my question, and it said, "Well, given that the Winnipeg Jets, are your favorite team," and it went on and gave it, and so it reasoned that kind of thing. So, but again, that kind of shows what you're talking about. Is it could be an excellent tool, except for things like you're talking about, it needs to be done. They need to have that on the home items that I don't want to say the name of, for fear of waking them.
yeah. I agree. I agree. It
Yeah.
even remembered her dog's name in the conversation, because they even said, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, just like I know your dog's name is I forget what her dog's name was, but it's
But
so
ChatGPT,
it was
or
impressive.
Charlie, sorry,
Charlie
knew.
Yeah, and it was actually impressive. Again, I highly recommend you go watch that episode 6 to anybody that's watching that saw that, because you'll be blown away. I really think you will. I was thoroughly impressed. I was thoroughly impressed. So
Yeah, and I think watch all of them.
oh yeah,
Binge watch.
100%. And you can, not even a bad idea too, because when you start watching from 1 to 6, you'll see the progression, because the memory feature was added like in the middle of her podcast. Like
it was
between
actually
4 and 5 is when it got
was actually
added.
being added. It was added. They made the announcement for the ad like several, well, not several minutes, but basically the day that she was a guest. And I brought it up when we were talking about it afterwards, because I saw the news when in our little post-show talk. And I had mentioned it to her, and I remember she thinking, "Wow, really?" And and then of course she made that discovery. It must have updated that night or the next day or whatever, and then she made the program about it, her podcast, and it's proven to be a game changer, really. So everyone else has to step up now.
I think
everyone else has to step up now. Simple
makes
as
me
that.
makes me want to go use Chat GPT.
Speaking of which, there is some news on the Gemini GPT front. On the Gemini front, if you didn't see last week's episode, you don't know where that joke's coming from. But the Gemini Live screen and video share feature has now been announced to be free for everyone that has access to Gemini on Android. That is, not
That's
yet
pretty cool
on iOS. So
that's fun to play with.
it may be a while before you get it. You might have it already. It might be days. If you don't have the Gemini app on your particular phone, again, this is for Android. You can get the Gemini app on an iPhone, and it will work brilliant for you. But this new feature for now, Android only. If you haven't got the app yet, download it. You'll probably end up getting it almost right out of the gate. Maybe. But
Possible.
if you have it already on your phone and you don't have it, restart your phone. See if it works. If it doesn't, give it a day or two. It'd probably work then.
Yeah, because you
But it
complained
is
for what,
brilliant.
3 days, and then you rebooted, and presto, there it was.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I rebooted every day, so it just happened to be. What happened was I saw one article that says, "Oh, now everyone's getting it." Like they made it sound like everyone already had it, but nobody had it. And then this one article came out and said, "Oh, all of our phones over here at The Verge or whatever place it was. I don't remember which one, so don't quote me on that and I don't want to get sued by The Verge. Anyways, they have lawyers. I don't. Anyways, whatever article it was I was reading was basically saying, yeah, now it's widely rolling out right now, and reboot your phone and it might work. So I
Yeah.
rebooted my phone, and then I rebooted the other phone I have, and both of them have it. So I got 3 phones with the Gemini live screen sharing thing. So
Nice.
there you have it.
Yeah, fun to play with. So, all right. Well, that is our episode for this week. Hockey, yeah, we will wait and see. We'll see in I don't know what, a month or two, who's right about the finals, and go check out Taco Renee's podcast. I will link it in the description. Make sure you give us the old thumbs up and the old subscribe. We would appreciate that as well. Any comments, questions, or otherwise, you know where to put them. And I am Robert from the U.S.
And I'm Spock. Lionel from Toronto, Canada.
We'll see you next week. Peace.